Hello everybody, it's Maikito. I hope everybody is having and has had a good day so far. I'll go over the picks at the end of the video. Obviously, I'm not going to want to talk about them now, but there is still a pretty decent slate. I said yesterday for Saturday slate, there's not as many as Saturday, and that's because a lot of those games are being played on Sunday. So there are plays that I did like. I'm just going to get straight into them. And the first pick is Caicedo to go lower than 63.5 passes, playing at home for Chelsea, going up against Newcastle. He's gone under this prop in 7 out of 9 games this season, which is a really good hit rate so far. The only times he's gone over this mark was against Nottingham Forest, in which they had 66% of the ball. And they were a man up about like 20 minutes at the end of the game, and he barely went over with 67. And then he went over against Crystal Palace with 62% of the ball. He has 79, but I do not expect them to get nearly as much possession in that at that much possession against Newcastle. I expect it to be 50-50-ish. Maybe Chelsea could get like 55, but Newcastle is a team that likes to hold the ball, possession of the ball as well. They had 60% against Brighton. They had 38% against Man City, but the Man City is Man City, so you can't blame them for that. 68% against Everton, 61% against Fulham. So they're a team that can't keep up, at least when it comes to the possession of the ball, which is what I like. And I think they're overestimating Caicedo's passes in general. And last season, he played against. They played each other 3 times, and in that game, Chelsea had 45% of the ball to Newcastle's 55, so they had more. In the second game, Chelsea had 78% of the ball, but Newcastle had a lot of injuries, so they didn't have none of their main defense, none of the main midfielders, so I don't blame them for that. And in the third game, Chelsea had 46% of the ball compared to Newcastle's 54. So in 2 games where Newcastle was fully healthy or close to fully healthy, they actually had more percentage of the ball against Chelsea, and he went under. In the game where Newcastle were healthy, he played in one of those 3 games, and he went under with 41 passes. And Newcastle have a fully fit midfield. They do have some injuries, but that has nothing to do with their midfield or most of their defense. So I expect the possession to not really be a big factor there. They still have Tonali, they have Guimaraes, they have their full midfield, so I don't see a reason why Newcastle can't control the ball here. He averaged 59.9 passes last season, so that's still under this prop as well. And a big his average is also, there's a lot of disparity between playing against big teams and against small teams. So even then, I expect this average to be lower against bigger teams. So I think they're overestimating his passes. So I like this prop. I like Caicedo to go lower than 63.5 passes. My next prop is Declan Rice to go higher than 2 tackles, playing at home for Arsenal, going up against Liverpool. If I'm not mistaken, right now, underdog, you can get it at 1.5 for a less payout. Obviously, you can take it there. It's still good there as well. He's had 2+ in 4 out of 5 games, 4 out of the last 5 games for Arsenal. And since joining Arsenal in 2023, he's played against Liverpool 3 times and has had 2+ in all 3 games. He had 2 tackles, 6 tackles, and 4 tackles. And this isn't even tackles completed. This is just tackles attempted. So it's not like he has to complete them for this to hit. He just has to attempt them. And Arsenal have a lot of injuries right now, pivotal injuries as well. They have Odegaard in the midfield injured. They have Calafiori that got injured last game. They have Tierney who was injured. They have Timber who's injured, and they have Saliba who's suspended in this game. So Arsenal are thin defensively. Some of his midfields that he already has, like Thomas Partey, is probably gonna have to play in the back as well. So defensively, Arsenal is very thin right now, so I expect more defensive responsibility for Declan Rice in this game. And Liverpool need this win. They're currently second place with a game behind. If they win this, they can reclaim their first place spot against Arsenal. So I expect them to be aggressive and try to take advantage of the injuries that Arsenal have, which obviously means a lot of defensive chances for Declan Rice to get these tackles. And he runs all over the pitch on defense and attack. He goes up in attack as well. So not only can he get tackles whenever Liverpool have the ball and he's just defending normally, he'll also have chances whenever they lose the ball and he's running back, trying to get the ball back, trying to be aggressive and take possession back. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities for him to get these tackles, especially now with their injuries. And it's a big game for them, so I expect him to be out there the full 90 minutes. I like this prop. I like Declan Rice to go higher than 2 tackles. My next prop is Alex Remiro to go lower than 2.5 saves, playing at home for Real Sociedad, going up against Osasuna. He's averaged 2.5 saves so far in the league, so averaging right on the 2.5, but I still think he goes under because, first of all, Sociedad are a decent defense. They have allowed on average 11 shots at home, which is pretty good, and that's in 5 games. But Osasuna, their attack plummets at home compared to away. At home, they average 14 shots with 4.8 being on target after 6 home games. And then if they've played 4 away games in the league, and they go from 14 shots taken all the way down to 5.3 shots, with only averaging 1.5 shots on target after 4 games. And in those games, they've played teams like Girona, who allow a decent amount of shots. They've played Vallecano, Valencia, and Getafe. So they've played decent defensive sides, and Sociedad is just that. And in those games, like I said, they've only averaged 1.5 shots on target. So it's a pretty good chance that Remiro doesn't even have the opportunity to be able to get these saves anyways. And first of all, Osasuna don't keep possession, which also means less opportunities for Osasuna to even get those chances, while Sociedad like to hold possession. So it's the perfect recipe for a lot of Sociedad attack and a lot of Osasuna defense, and not being able to get any opportunities, if any at all. He played Osasuna 3 times last season, went under in all 3 of those games. 2 of those games were even away in Osasuna's house, where Osasuna take more shots, and he still went under when going under in all 3 games against them last season. I just like this prop because Osasuna won't get many opportunities, so I like this prop. I like Alex Remiro to go lower than 2.5 saves. The last player prop that I have so far is Harry Kane to go higher than 0.5 goals and assists, playing away from home for Bayern, going up against Bochum. You're actually getting a better payout for taking his goals and assist line than just his goals line, which could be a glitch, who knows, but I'm still putting it out now as soon as I can. He's had 18 goals and assists in 11 games for Bayern so far, and he's still in top form even after leaving Tottenham, even after 1 season with Bayern. And he also plays really, really well against these smaller teams. He had 3+ goals and assists against teams like Bremen, Zagreb, and Kiel. So he does good against these smaller teams. We just need him to get 1. And Bayern need a morale boost after losing to Barcelona. And he still managed to score in that game. So he still went over in that game. And he played Bochum twice last season. Went over in both games. He had 1 away and 5 at home. He is playing away, but either way, he did good against them last season. And Bochum have the 3rd worst defense in the league so far this season, conceding 17 goals in 7 games. They foul a lot, which means potential penalties. Harry Kane is a penalty taker, so I like that as well. They don't keep possession, and Bayern obviously hold a lot of the ball, so that means even more opportunities for Bayern and Harry Kane to be able to attack. And they're bad at defending through balls. And Harry Kane is actually an underrated passer, and when he gets assists, it's usually through balls or layoffs. So he's gonna have good opportunities here. It's just a very, very good matchup. So I like this prop. I like Harry Kane to go higher than 0.5 goals and assists. Before I get into the money lines, I want to quickly mention player prop wise, I have my codes for PrizePicks and Underdog linked in the description if you want to use those. I have Fliff for my money lines linked as well, and I also have the YouTube memberships for those that want to use that. It's for those that want to support the channel, great way to support the channel as well, and you get the videos and the props out before it goes out public, before anybody else. So if you want to use that, that's linked in the description as well. And if you could please like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, do all of that. It really helps support the channel. Commenting helps boost the algorithm, so I really want to appreciate and thank anybody who supports me in any way. My first money line play is Lazio higher than 1.5 goals, playing at home, going up against Genoa. Lazio's attack has massively improved since last season. They have Castellanos, who's been in form. They have Dia, who was a great pickup, who's also in really good form. They have Sakani on the wing, who's an underrated passer in my opinion. They've actually had 2+ goals, so this prop has hit in 4 out of the last 5 games, which the only under in the last 5 was against the best defense in the league, Juventus, so you can't blame them for that. They've gone over in all 5 home games that they've played so far this season. In all 5 games, they've scored 2+ goals, and that's including games against AC Milan and Nice. So it's not like they've been playing only bad teams. They've been playing decent teams as well. And Genoa have the 3rd worst defense in the league, conceding 17 goals in 8 games. So they average over 2 goals conceded per game so far, and they've only, out of the 9 games they've played, only 3 of them have been away. So they've even had favorable matchups being able to play at home, but now they have an away game here, which is what we like. And in those 3 away games, they've conceded 2 or more in 2 out of the 3 games. The only game where they didn't concede 2 goals or more was against Monza, who have a bad attack in general, so it wasn't even a good matchup there. They don't keep possession. They can't defend the wings. They leave a lot of space when they lose the ball, because they like to play with width, which is a good space that Lazio can exploit with speedy players like Dia and Castellanos and Sakani. And Lazio are good at finishing the opportunities that they do get, and they will have a lot of opportunities against Genoa. So I like this matchup. I like Lazio higher than 1.5 goals going up against Genoa. I like the value you're getting here instead of just taking the normal money line. the last money line play that I have is a slip. You can get this at -120 right now. And the first play is Atletico Madrid or draw going up against Betis. They're undefeated in the league so far with 5 wins and 5 draws, and they do what they have to do to be able to get a result, which is what we like. Betis are a decent team, but they struggle against big teams. If you look at the results, doesn't even like Sevilla, Sociedad, just teams like that, they can't win. They sometimes draw against them, but they seem to struggle against big teams. And Atletico Madrid has not lost against Betis, which is what we need to happen for this prop to not hit. And their last 26 games against each other, spanning 12 years. The last time that Betis beat Atletico Madrid was in December of 2011. So knock on wood, should be an easy prop. Has hit over the last 12 years, 26 games. Atletico Madrid has not lost against Betis. They're the much better team. They don't have any major injuries. They have a solid defense. This prop has actually hit in all 5 away games that they've played in both league and European competition as well. All the games they've played have been they haven't lost. So I like this prop. I like Atletico draw against Betis. And then the second part of this play is Frankfurt to draw going up against Union Berlin. And their ability to score is what's going to be vital and pivotal in this game. They hit this prop in both games against each other last season with 1 win and 1 draw. And Berlin were scoreless in both games. They couldn't even score against Frankfurt in both games last season. And the only away games that Frankfurt have lost so far this season was against Leverkusen and Dortmund, which are 2 big teams. And Berlin is nowhere close to that. They have Marmoush and Etikite, who's in form, which I mentioned is going to be pivotal when it comes to being able not to lose. Them scoring, they'll be able to keep the lead. And they have good defensive pickups, and Christensen, who they picked up from Roma, Teate, who they picked up from Rennes, they've been playing good and good to pair up with the current defense they have with Koch, Tuta, and Trapp. And they're just a better quality team. And Berlin, they've been doing pretty good defensively so far in the league, but they struggle to score. And if this is a 0-0 game, this prop still hits. But the fact that Frankfurt is just so good in the attack so far this season is the reason why I like this prop. And it's safer to just take them to win or draw. So I like this prop. I like Frankfurt to draw against Berlin. As always, those are the 2 props that I have for the slip. You can take it as is, or you can mix and match them with props that you have on your own. Totally up to you. Thank you everybody for watching. Quickly going over last video's picks. It was not a great day. No way to sugarcoat it. It happens. Best we can do is just move on from them, but I'll still go over them. The only one that hit was Pickford under saves, and even that one was sweaty. He had 2 after the first half, and then he didn't get any in the second half. I had an added play in Silva, higher than 2 shots. He pushed with 2 added plays, both missed. Kovacic higher on passes, and Malin higher on shots. Malin had a goal and a shot within like the first 10 minutes and just didn't shoot again after that, which is very unfortunate. We had Napoli -1.5. They benched Politano and Kvaratskhelia, 2 players that I really liked. That was a big reason why I liked this prop, but they were benched. Both teams to score. Palmas, Girona. Girona had good chances, but they weren't able to score. Palmas did, Girona didn't. Gazzaniga higher than 2.5 saves. He hooked with 2. Semenyo higher than 2.5 shots. Hooked with 2. Napoli, the -1.5 play. That one hooked. They won 1-0. Both teams to score. Hooked. One team didn't score. Malin missed. Hooked. Didn't take the second shot. So like every single prop that missed was just a hook day. So this could have easily been a sweep day, but just luck wasn't on our side. It happens. Obviously also bad reads on my part, so I cannot just always just not take the blame. So it's bad on my part, but the best, like I said, we can do is move on from it. We had 3 great videos. It's bound to come down to an end at some point, but hopefully we can bounce back tomorrow and just have a better day. If I do have any added plays, I'll try to add them. There will be in the pinned comment, usually about an hour to 30 minutes before the game starts. And if you want to join my Discord, where people talk about their personal lines, so even when I'm not responding, their plays, slips, stuff like that, even other sports like NBA, you can join totally free, linked in the description, free to join for everybody. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good night, a good day, and we can cash out tomorrow.